Freedom Party and the left-wing JVP formed a patriotic national alliance as a first step to defeat Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's government. A formal agreement between both parties was signed at a ceremony in Colombo.
Sri Lanka Nidahas Pakshe Saha
living and turning a blind eye as the rebel LTTE set up a separate state in the north and east. It said these developments have rapidly brought the country to the brink of disaster. The agreement did not disclose details regarding sharing of seats and portfolios in the event of forming a government.
The World Health Organization has welcomed Chinese plans to launch human trials for a homegrown SARS vaccine. Chinese doctors plan to begin human trials soon, but it would take a long time before the vaccine aimed at making the body immune to the virus could be marketed.
China has announced that it had approved human trials for a homegrown SARS vaccine after tests were carried out safely on animals, including monkeys. Fears of a resurgence in SARS were sparked off recently after 3 SARS cases were confirmed. Welcomed the announcement.
Our understanding is that one product has been approved to begin trials, but it's unlikely that those human trials will start within the next 2 to 3 months, something like that in terms of the time frame. So it is an important development. However, it doesn't mean that there will be a vaccine available quickly. It's still likely to be 1 to 2 years before a safe and effective vaccine is available.
Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao said on Sunday that China had won the battle against SARS after 2 of the 3 SARS cases confirmed to have emerged in southern China in recent weeks recovered.
The United Nations is considering sending a team to Iraq to explore whether elections can be held there by 30th of June before the US transfers power to an Iraqi government. Anand said he is studying a request from the US Administrator in Iraq, Pbremer, and members of the Iraqi Governing Council to send a team to Iraq to examine the feasibility of holding direct elections by May. Anand said he would make a final decision after further talks. He, however, reiterated that the UN will have a role to play in Iraq from July onwards. Meanwhile, Shia protests against co-nominated government. Shiite cleric Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani had last week warned of a fatwa banning local cooperation with coalition forces if they try to impose authority on Iraqis.
UN Secretary General Kofi Annan met a delegation of the Iraqi Governing Council and the US Administrator in Iraq, Pbremer.
The Governing Council and the CPA representatives have expressed a strong wish that the UN should quickly send a technical mission to Iraq to advise on the feasibility of elections within the next few months, and if not, what alternatives might be possible.
After the meeting with Pbremer and the Iraqi Governing Council, Annan said they agreed that further discussions should take place at the technical level and he would be in a better position to take a decision after those discussions. Annan said he is looking at the possibility of sending a mission to Iraq to offer advice on the ground. He also added that a separate 4-man team will be sent to look at security issues. Pbremer welcomed Annan's initiative and said it requires an organization with the stature and credibility of the UN to offer a perspective on the issue.
Possible to have direct full national elections in the time frame established by the November 15th agreement, that is to say, to return sovereignty to the Iraqi people by June 30th. We think that that is a legitimate question and one where the UN, with its expertise in elections, can offer a perspective. And that is really the intention now of these discussions we've had this morning. And I said earlier, we were pleased that the Secretary General agreed with all seriousness and with all urgency to examine that question.
The Shiite Muslims are pressing for direct elections before the United States hands over power on June 30th. They fear that they will be marginalized again under the US plan. The voices gathered strength after top Shiite leader Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani said power should not be handed over to unelected leaders under any circumstances.
Sports News brought to you by Godrej Shaving Cream.
And in sports news, Minnow Zimbabwe gave India some anxious moments before going under 24 runs behind in the Tri-Nation Series match at Brisbane. India posted a rather disappointing 255 for 6 in 50 overs. The Africans' reply began badly, but the tailenders hit out gamely. However, the asking rate proved too much. Yuvraj Singh, who scored 69, was the man of the match. Skipper Sourav Ganguly contributed comments.
Sports news brought to you by Godrej Shaving Cream.
Time now for a recap of the headlines.
India-Russia signed Gorshkov deal. Moscow promises to deliver revamped aircraft carrier by 2008. Sonia Gandhi accuses Vajpayee of changing stand on Pakistan. No question of sellout on Kashmir and nuclear weapons, asserts Pervez Musharraf. And in Brisbane, India beat Zimbabwe by 24 runs. Yuvraj Singh, man of the match.
News in English.